everybody, and welcome back to... Oh, fuck, it has been a while.
It has been
Welcome back to the pre-production meeting. This is episode 67, the podcast where we talk about our films in progress, film news, everything films, and we're back from a couple months
back,
hiatus.
baby.
Wow. Where do we start?
Oh my God, so much has happened in August.
You almost set your house on fire last night.
And that's only one of many things that have happened over the past month.
Wow. Dan, what...
I love how you just start with that. That's like
you know what?
irrelevant
I'm not going to ask you what's been happening. What hasn't been happening? I think that's where we start.
I literally can't name a single thing that hasn't happened because everything has happened.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
This has been, I think, the wildest month in indie filmmaking history.
Yeah.
And indie filmmaking history.
Yeah.
That
Indie Woodward filmmaking industry.
Mate, that's what I'm saying. It's just been hectic. Like, everybody has been, for some fucking reason, shooting their films.
It was week after week after week. Like, Indie's shoot up in the Central Coast. Then the next week it was your shoot.
Yeah.
And then I shot a film in between that. Like on one Sunday, and then 2 weeks later finished it off on another Sunday.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now?
Oh, look, I said to Indy in the car ride here, it's been a good month. I've enjoyed it, but I'm kind of glad it's the end of August because there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
But mind you, I've got another busy month coming up as well, but it's just a different nature of work.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, you're filming something next week, and then how long is your break before you go to Idle?
Just a week.
Just a week?
Yeah. But like, I'm going to just chill that week.
Oh,
I mean, I have a bunch of projects now that are in post.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got...
Yeah, but are you editing?
Yeah, I'm going to edit Finn's one.
Okay.
And I'll probably edit the Brewster one as well.
Nice.
So yeah,
Really
two
cool.
to edit. But I can take my time with them.
Mate.
Yeah.
Insane. I honestly, I'm speechless.
Are you?
I'm speechless, and that's saying something, dude.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy. I was just telling Annie when you're out of the room, it's like, I mean, I feel like this always happens though. It's like as soon as you finish, as soon as you wrapped, there's just been. It feels so weird. Also, it feels so weird because I feel like we left to go to Wollombi in the winter and we came back and it's fucking summer.
I know. What happened?
Like there was
so cold at the start of August and now it's so hot.
I know. Like it's like and you know that different feel in the air and shit like that.
Yeah.
It was such a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Coming back, I'm like everything's changed.
Yeah, really, truly.
Dude. And it's like just having like these spare moments of time. Like I still honestly haven't had a full day to myself, which is I'm planning on having this week.
Yeah.
But you just sit there and then I get these waves of just anxiety that rush over. I'm like, oh shit, I got to do. Oh wait,
there's nothing to do. But are you enjoying that, or is it making? Well,
I haven't had a chance to enjoy it yet. Usually, it does the adverse effect to me.
Yeah.
Like when I have nothing to do, it drives me insane.
Yeah.
Not insane.
I get you.
Like it makes me like fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just get in a weird headspace. But I still am kind of busy. I've been catching up with mates and girlfriend and stuff like that.
That's what it is. Like once you get that spot, that little stretch of freedom, you just enjoy it and just catch up on the things that you sort of neglected because you've been so busy with your film. You know,
bro, literally, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Is just have time to myself.
Because you got to realize that life is also about relationships and friendships and all that stuff too. You don't want to, like, as much as we love film, it is very all consuming, right? And we can often get lost in that and just dedicate ourselves to that. But there are other things in life that are just as important, you know.
100%. I mean, yeah, and that's why I think, you know, it would be. I don't know. It could go two ways. Is like having like really close friends and family and stuff. So say like you're in a relationship with somebody that was in like the film industry or something, and having them on set. I mean, set is already so intimate and intense as it is. I mean, you kind of have a whole new family when you get on set. You know what I mean? So you form those really kind of deep and meaningful connections, or you kind of build on those ones that you've already had. So you're still having those kind of connections, I guess. It's just in a different sense. So
for sure.
It's like imagine having your partner on there 24/7. I think it would, I think it's good that, you know,
it's a separate stuff.
Thing.
I think, I mean, for some people it works. Like two people being in the same industry.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see why, like having another creative that you can bounce ideas off and that just gets the lifestyle.
Yeah.
But then there are also cons to it. Like if you're both doing long hours and you're not on the same projects, you're not going to see each other very much.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, and also, you know, if things do go south, it's a small industry and you might have to bump into them. But, you know,
I mean, I've dealt with that before.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to say, like, straight out, like, when I was back in the day, I was
Yeah.
I was dating my ex-girlfriend, and we kind of broke up. But I knew she was a producer on a film that I was working on later that year, so I knew I had to see her again.
Yeah.
Luckily, everything was cordial and fine. But like, God, imagine if it was worse.
Yeah.
And just you'd have to see them again.
Yeah.
And another thing, I think, sorry, this podcast, by the way, is going to be a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
We're just going to roll with it and just see how we go.
Yeah.
But another thing kind of coming off set as well is, and I really want to talk to Karina about this, because this is such a
loveliest human
interest-
ever, by the way.
Bro,
Oh my
literally.
goodness.
And this is such an interesting conversation, because I mean, the film that we shot was so emotionally intense and draining.
Yes.
The characters and the actors putting themselves through all the stages of grief
Yeah.
possibly known to a human, and really bonding with someone, like going through that whole journey with somebody like that, and getting, intimate for the story at points. I really want to talk to her, how she kind of like goes about it's so fascinating seeing how actors, because she's married, she has kids and stuff, and seeing how that kind of dynamic works after you've been through something very like kind of intense with another actor, and seeing if like I don't know how easy it is to go back to your regular life after that.
That is very interesting, yeah.
And I really want to talk to her, and like if there's difficulties and stuff like that, and kind of, yeah, man. And just like,
I feel like it would also depend on the scope and the scale of the project. I mean, for a short film where it's 4 days, it's probably easier. Imagine like you're doing a feature or a show, like that would be hard.
Something, far out, man. It's insane, but yeah, dude, it's been a crazy couple of months. Where do we start?
I definitely want to ask you a lot more questions about the horologist
Oh, yeah,
and your
for sure.
experience, but
And
I think maybe we save that for later.
I think we save that for later, but also I'll talk about my experience with it, but I'll save a lot of the kind of stories and stuff for when we do get Taha on, and we do a whole episode dedicated to it. But I can still talk about how it's affected me and
for
stuff
sure.
like that.
One thing I did find myself realizing after watching you and Taha direct is I definitely need to take acting classes.
Me
I mean,
too.
I've been meaning to, and we can do this together.
Yeah, I think so.
The only reason I haven't is I did that free trial for one and I really liked it.
Yeah.
But I haven't just because I haven't had the time because we've had so many shoots.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think as soon as I come off Idol, I'll have a
Mate,
bit
I'll
of a free
join up.
patch. And
It's
we'll do it.
it's so.
Even just like a 6-week workshop or something.
dude,
Like, really
1000%. I think it's so handy. And oh man, I mean, I know you did, and like I learned so much from Taha as well, and seeing how he worked, and like it's crazy, bro. I've learned more in that week watching Taha than I did ever in any directing class in film school.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that shit happens, man.
Yeah.
You learn so much on set that like it's just on set experience they can't teach in film school. God, they missed out on a lot. Do you realize that? Like, do you find that as well, kind of as you go on sets and stuff like that?
That they didn't teach us.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
for
like-
sure. But like, I don't know. I don't really think about it that much to be
No,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They teach you what they teach you. I don't really think about it.
Yeah, well, fuck, man. Anyways.
But
it
you
was
are
just-
right. You are right for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely one of the big takeaways is...
But that being said, like you can't teach everything. at
No, you
film school.
can't. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, so
do
let's
it.
start from the start. So what came first?
The chicken or the egg?
Baron.
Oh, Baron. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to hop back and forth project to project?
Yeah,
and
we'll
do it
go,
like
but
that?
we'll go. So we'll start with Baron.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think last time I spoke about this, I was like nearing the end of completion. I was like very close. I was like just finishing the sound mix because that was the last thing I did. And we ended up finishing the credits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the film is completely done now, but I haven't really had too much time to actually start putting it into festivals and stuff just because I've had so many other projects, which I should probably get a move on with because like right now is like festival season, like the deadline's in like August, September. So I should probably get I think I missed Sydney Film Festival.
Yeah, that was months ago.
Oh, was it? Okay, that's fine. I didn't know if I just missed it, but
that was when we went and saw the. You went and saw.
No, but I
movie.
mean for next year.
Oh, for next year. Oh,
yeah, because
I'm
I looked
not
on
sure.
Film Freeway and it said closed, and I'm like, oh,
No,
has
it
not
hasn't opened yet.
Oh, okay,
yeah. You're
Yeah.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
But I did submit it to. Have you heard of Short of the Week?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's that website where they post all the top short films. They're all really high quality. And what they do is, if they accept you, they actually help you with your festival campaign and they help
That's
promote
awesome.
your film and stuff. Which is
Yeah,
really
right.
good. So it's like a $50, I think it was $50 USD or
Mhm.
40 USD to put your film in.
Yep.
And then for an extra 10 USD, you can get feedback on it. So
Mm.
I pay for that as well. So they tell you like what works, what doesn't work.
Have you got the feedback?
Not yet. It's up to a week. I did this 2 days ago. So
Bro, I remember
waiting on it.
Lexi put a film in. I can't remember which one it was, and she paid to get like a critic's review.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brutal.
brutal.
Oh, but that's what I want.
Yeah, I'd
So-
love to see us put the fucking things in.
Yeah, I want to
too.
know what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a 9.2 on IMDb.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. I had a friend who was telling me recently he had a script that he was working on that he put into a bunch of different websites. It was like a TV pilot, and out of 100 it was getting like 92, 94, like really high scores, and he was like, whoa, sick. So he put it into the blacklist. You know what the blacklist is, right? It's like, it's basically the high end where scripts are sold. Like people put, I'm pretty sure the
Wow.
Whiplash script was on there at one point.
Really?
Yeah, it's like all the
It's-
high end
so it's
scripts, and
online?
they get sold, and like
Okay.
all the investors look there and stuff.
That's crazy. I've
Yeah.
never heard of that before in my life.
So he submitted it to the blacklist, and then his script got 40 out of 100.
Ooh.
And then they were like, great characters, great concept, poorly written.
holy
so-
shit, brutal.
Yeah, but like at the same time, it's like,
so then
that's,
on the blacklist, do
Yeah.
they promote can he still sell it on there, or does it have to get it over a specific score?
no, I mean, obviously if it's not scored well, I don't think it's going to like float to the top. I'm not sure if there's like a ranking system or how it works.
Yeah, for sure.
I just know that it's like a trading market, or you can shop around for the best scripts on there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So a lot of
Crazy.
movies on there, you'll see like some of the big films that have been made and
Yeah.
stuff started on there.
So you're finished Baron completely.
Yes, it's completely finished now. Yes.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, look, I had this conversation with you, and I still don't know whether people are lying to me when they say they liked it.
God.
I mean, you've seen it. so-
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. You showed us on the set of
Yes.
The Horologist. You
Yeah.
showed me, Sam, and Taha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I spoke to you about some of the things that sort of irritate me about the film. There are things that you
Uh-huh.
can always nitpick
Of course.
because you've looked at it a million times. But
Exactly.
you've also got to understand that when other people are watching it, they don't pick up on a lot of those things.
Not at all.
And I think I can say I am proud of it, and I do think it is the best thing I've done. So I think it has more of a vision than anything else I've done.
Yep.
And more style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's the best written. I mean, that's props to Anya for writing it.
Yep.
Um,
I
Yeah.
think it's amazing. I
Thanks,
think
man.
I mean I've already told you all this stuff, but I'll give you a little teaser for the others when
Yeah.
they go say. I think it's definitely the best work you've done. It's very distinct and has a voice to it, which is really cool to see that you're kind of developing your voice in this
Yeah.
industry. And I think horror definitely has your name written all over it.
Thank you. Well, it was my first time doing horror. Do you feel like
Absolutely, man. I mean, you can really sense the inspiration as well from like directors like Ari Aster and stuff like that. But it's like you've been inspired and you've added your own little twinge on it, which is really nice.
Thank you.
But it's incredible. The sound fucking was
it turned out really
insane.
good, I think.
I think every part of it works together in beautiful harmony. And the stuff that you're worried about, honestly, bro, I wouldn't have even noticed unless you pointed it out to me. So I think you should be proud, and I can't wait for everybody to see. Do we have an update on the premiere?
Not yet. I haven't.
You have a lot going on.
I think I was gonna try and do it early September, but I think I'm gonna push it a bit.
Yeah.
I just wanna. I've got too
Early
much-
September. Cuz that's tomorrow.
No, I know. Oh my god! By the way, guys, buy your ticket.
You need a full month to set that.
I've got too much
Yeah.
going on. I think once I'm working on Idol, and it's just like
When do you wrap up Idol?
November.
What?
Could do it.
Maybe end of November.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
So
Do it.
we'll see. I'll figure it out. It's
Fantastic.
not at the top of my priorities right now. But
I'm looking forward to it, man.
yeah, no, and a lot of people have said to me that they're keen on going to a premiere. So
I think it will rake up festival awards as well.
Thanks,
Just
man, I
I think
appreciate that.
I
But-
think the duration is perfect as well.
that's another thing that I'm trying to figure out what festivals to enter. I'm a little bit stumped on it.
Flickerfest, I reckon you have a good chance.
That doesn't really cater to horror so much. It's because it's a genre film. You have to go for horror festivals. But
You can do Sydney Underground and
yeah,
stuff like that.
I also want to target festivals, not ones that are too prestigious that they won't accept it, but not ones that are too low end that I'm not going to get anything from it. It's like that middle ground.
It's it's very hard as
Yeah.
well to find that middle ground where you do kind of get something from it, because the festivals
Yeah.
that I've kind of researched and stuff, it's either all or nothing, and the
Yeah.
all is the big prestigious ones and
Yeah.
the nothing is everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like it depends what you want out of it. If you want some laurels, mate, easy.
Oh, yeah.
If you want recognition and stuff like that, it's really hard. I do think you should still take a chance on yourself and enter in some of those big festivals because you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you enter in like Sundance?
Yeah, but I'm not going to win.
No,
Even
but
if it's private.
you don't need a win, cuz if you get into
I'm not going to
Sundance,
get nominated, is what I mean. I'm self-aware
never
enough to
know.
know that the film's not good enough for that, and that's okay. Like, I'm not hating on myself, but I like know objectively that it won't get in. Also, it's not. I was speaking to one of my mentors about this, and he was like, "It's not." They go for more world films, more like art house kind of films,
Yep.
rather than horror. Not so much genre. You know
genre.
what I mean?
Okay, I
So
guess
it's not
so.
really the right.
Well, then
flavour for
I
them.
still think you should definitely try and get into those Academy Award qualifying.
Yeah, I'll have a look for
because
sure.
I think that might be your middle ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's not Academy Award qualifying, BAFTA qualifying, all that stuff, that's kind of lower ground. You got the middle ground. If you get into that, you still get some really good. You get something out of it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're entering. At least you can say that your film has got into an Academy Award qualifying. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then you got the top end prestigious ones. You get in and you win and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's
I
true.
think that's your best bet, man. And I
Mm.
think I've no doubt you'll get into a couple. So.
Have you sort of thought about festivals for the horologist at all?
Not
or-
yet. Me and Taha are just we're gonna have a sit down. We'll have a lot of planning. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to take it easy for the moment, but like planning, we're being very strategic about it. Even like tonight, like we were supposed to release a poster, and I just went. I think I just got overexcited, and like I was working on it, and I was pretty happy with it. It was just I wasn't like 100% happy with it, but like I was really happy with it, and I was gonna post it tonight. And then Taha he called me, and he's like, "Look, it just doesn't grab me. Let's take our time with this." I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? You're
Yeah.
right. I'm just being super excited." And
I
it's
had that
like-
moment so many times on Baron as well. When I was editing
Yeah.
it, I was like, I just want this to be done.
Yeah.
But then there were like little things that weren't right, and it's like, no, you have to go back and fix it. Because if you
100%.
don't, and you just push through, and then you look back later, that little thing is gonna annoy you for the rest of eternity. Every
Yeah.
single time you show someone the film, and you see that little thing that you could have fixed,
Yeah,
you're like,
man.
I could have fixed that,
and that's
and it's gonna annoy you forever.
mate, that's it. And like, he's been really good to kind of keep me in my place and stuff like that.
Yeah. You two
so-
work so well as a team. Like watching you on
Yeah.
set of The Horologist was
You
really
know,
nice.
You know, it was really funny when
Yeah.
he called me. I got my back up a bit, like at the start. I'm like, honestly, man, I think this is gonna be the first time we disagree on something. I'm like, I actually do really like the poster.
Yeah.
Anyways, we kind of met in the middle ground, but yeah, you're right. Anyways, we're
Also-
talking about you at the moment. Yeah, sorry.
That
what were you
email
saying?
you sent was so beautiful to all
Yeah?
the crew. I love that. I want to do that for my projects
Yeah,
as
bro.
well.
Oh, I
It's so
thought,
nice.
bro. I mean, it's Oh man, we'll get into it
Yeah.
because I really do mean every single word.
No,
that I
of
said.
course, but it's just very nice. Like me reading that and just
Yeah.
seeing, and I read everyone else.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because
It's a long ass email.
Yeah, I read.
Kudos
it all.
to you,
No,
man.
Yeah, no, it was very nice, very sweet.
So from now, we'll just kind of finish the Baron talk.
Yes.
What's your plan going forward?
Figure out the festivals to
Yeah.
submit to,
Yep.
and just see how far I can run it.
Yeah.
Try and do a film circuit,
Yep.
and do a screening as well, cast and crew.
Nice.
And then eventually I want to put it online because I feel like it can do well online.
Yep.
So that's kind of the plan for it.
Fantastic. And yeah, bro, 100%. You know, Osman's still going through.
I was going to
fucking
ask
film
you, like,
festivals.
what are you done submitting that or?
Oh
what
yeah, I was done submitting. Oh, bro, I spent so much money.
Yeah,
and I've got rejected from all
can you
of
say?
it. I'm sure I could fucking
That's how
find
it
it
goes, though,
somewhere
eh?
because it was.
Yeah.
I reckon. I was stupid. I
Yeah.
submitted in all the high end festivals, right?
Yeah.
When now looking back on it, I'm like, fuck, why did I spend so much money? And I'm like, I'm now looking back on Osma and like I'm very proud of it, whatnot. But
Yeah.
like, fuck me, I was destined from the start. I should have knew in my head like it wasn't gonna do well. But shut the fuck up. Not because of
Really?
the duration. It was purely because it's a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just I didn't think. And this is why I'm so happy I have Taha now to kind of less strategically go about what we do and like make fucking full on festival plans, distribution plans,
Yeah.
press plans, which we have for
That's
the
good. Yeah,
horologist
that's good.
already. I just went and did whatever, and it's like,
And there are little ways you can promote it as well that you might not initially think of. Like
Yeah.
even how you had that little product placement and then
yeah,
the
I mean,
brand.
we
Yeah.
set that so then that can pay off later on, and
Yeah,
like
it's
we're
good.
planning on doing another screening in Wollombi as well,
Yeah,
bringing
sick.
it back there and
Love that.
newspaper and radio.
That's good,
and
man.
stuff
That's
like
like
that.
you want to get involved in the community. That's what
100
it's all about.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, anyways, sorry, I keep
No, it's
going
fine,
past.
dude. We're pretty much done.
Bottom line,
Baron
rejected from every festival for Oslo. Actually, I got told that I got past the first round of rejections for Byron
Yeah.
Bay Film Festival. I haven't.
But you know what, brother?
Yeah.
To finally defend you in this argument that we've been having for a
Yeah.
long time and I've been going against you.
Yeah.
The film you've made, Osmar, might not be a festival film, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it's not a film.
No,
that
1,000%.
you can,
Yeah.
that can go somewhere. It's just there's always different.
I can't wait
routes,
for it
you
to
know?
put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's
Exactly.
that's where I think it may do all right, you know. And
Yeah.
you know what's really nice? And sorry to take it off you for a second.
no.
The whole crew watching Osmar.
Oh, you're such.
Hey,
That made me laugh.
that was my idea, cuz. That was someone
It
asked.
did make me laugh.
You know who? It was Max. Max was like, "Hey, are we gonna put on Osmar? Let's see."
Oh, okay.
I'm like, all right. You walked in and everybody's watching and enjoying, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, for fuck's sake, just ruined everything. Everybody stopped watching. Mostly because you had pizzas. But
Yeah.
anyways, it was
No,
my
Nick
idea.
wanted to
I
watch.
thought it was really nice that everybody just sat there. Even Connor and all the boys were there. Just
It is nice, but I just found it funny that you're like, oh yeah, guys, we just finished wrapping my film. Let's watch my other film.
it wasn't my idea.
I know, it was just funny.
Oh man, but yeah. Anyways, Osmar's not doing too well in festivals, but then I just don't think it's a festival film.
Exactly, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna be. There's
Nah.
another route for it.
Yeah, 100%. And like you, I definitely want to revisit that world eventually.
Yeah.
But I got other plans. But yeah, cool. Happy with the Baron. That's it.
Yeah.
Damn. Nah. Yeah. Nah. All right. Bro, another one of yours.
Yeah, another one. So
Is it called Barista?
yeah,
Love it.
nice and simple. I like
Simple,
my
straight
one
to
word
the
titles.
point.
We
Yeah.
know what it's about. It's about a barista.
Yeah. Damn.
And then sorry, I've got a bit of a cough right now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Just running myself through to the ground this month.
Mate, you are.
Yeah, so this short film, I really just right now I'm wanting to make as much content as possible.
Brilliant.
Just to master my craft, get my stuff out there, get as much exposure as I can. Like it's really just about being in the community, making stuff, building that filmmaking muscle. The idea with this barista short film is to just put it on YouTube and just have it as an online piece. And I initially wanted it to be quite short, like 3-4 minutes, something I could shoot in a day. But then as I was writing the script, I found the story just becoming a little bit longer naturally. So it ended up being about 8 pages.
I never read it. You never sent it.
I can send it to you.
Nah, so I'll wait to see it.
It's quite
done.
simple. It's just literally like a slice of life film about a barista.
Yep.
And it's just like, because I was a barista for a month. I spoke about
A
this.
month?
Yeah.
Bro, and you decided to make a film?
Yeah, why not? Like, you don't have to do something for 6
Why
years to make
just a
film out of
month?
it. Oh, well, look, I was working at an IGA. This was when I was 18.
Yeah.
And they gave me a lot of responsibility very quickly. So they
Okay.
were like, there was a cafe there, like a coffee machine and stuff. So you've got to serve people coffees.
Yep.
You've got to work the deli. You've got to stack shelves. You've got to work at the cash register, like all this stuff. And I was brand new then. I was 18. And I was doing it, but like I was a bit slow. And I think they just wanted somebody who was quicker. And then after the month, my boss pulled me aside and he's like, look, mate, like you make great coffees, but it just takes you too long to make them kind of thing. And he's like, you know, like maybe this job just isn't for you.
Oh my
kind of thing. And
God.
I was like, yeah, like fair enough. I can't knock that.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. Like this job's not for everyone, you know, and I'm just not that person. So, you know, it's a bit of a kick in the nuts, but that's life, you know,
After
things
a
like that
month.
happen. Yeah.
Like,
well,
yeah,
it
bro.
is what it is. I guess that's sort of like,
I'm sorry.
it's like a trial point, you know? But I learned how to make a mean coffee.
Mate, I want one now.
But yeah, no, it was like it was stressful in the sense of like, you know, when you're first learning to drive a car and you're like, oh God, I've got to check my mirrors. I've got to like change gears. I've got to do all this. It's like stressful. But then once you get used to it, it becomes automatic and it's easy. Well, I never got to that automatic point, but those early days were stressful because it was like, you know, people will be lining up. Can I get this and this and this and this? Like different.
Especially with all the fucking different milks these
different
days.
milks and like this sugar and this.
Bro,
and
when did that
and you have
happen, eh? That was just like a rise all of a sudden.
because people started
were-
becoming lactose
there
intolerant.
were two milks, light and full cream.
I think
What happened?
somebody told me a couple years ago that it's actually because so cows get infections, right? This is kind of gross to talk about.
Are you
on
gonna?
the pod, but
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
So cows get infections and they need to take antibiotics in order to make themselves better. But over time, you know, the more antibiotics you take, the less it actually helps you. They become
Right.
weaker. And so these cows now, they're not, they don't get healed. Like they don't the infection doesn't go away as much. So
Yeah, okay.
basically, the milk has pus in it, and basically they allow more and more pus to get through into the milk, right? And that
What
means
is
that
this
people
podcast
that
turned
means
into?
that people are getting sick more because of what's in the milk. They've
Yeah.
changed that amount that they
So
will
you're
allow
telling
in.
me
Yeah.
there's almond milk, there's soy milk, all of this because there was pussy milk once upon
Well,
a
those
time.
are alternatives, but like your
Yeah.
full cream milk, the reason why more people are happening to be lactose intolerant and stuff is because there's more pus in the milk.
Crazy.
I should
right.
probably be careful about saying this stuff because I don't know. Like somebody told me that, and I'm like, I
This
don't
is
know if this is info I
allegedly,
should be
all right?
leaking,
We're,
but
we
yeah.
ain't no milk fucking
Anyway,
experts on here.
If the milk people come after me,
Not the milkman, bro. They're going to come
If you
on.
hear that I've died, it wasn't
Blame
me.
the milkman, cuz.
It was the milkman. All right. Yeah, so that's why people are supposedly more lactose intolerant and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't you reckon it seems like a lot more people are sick from dairy now than they?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably true.
So did you take inspiration from your time as a barista
Yeah.
into...
Yeah, and just sorry, what I was saying is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stresses of like people giving you all these orders and then like you're trying to make the coffee, trying to give them change, and then as you're making it, how's your day going? It's like there's just so much going on when you're, and for me, someone who can't multitask, it was a bit stressful.
Yeah.
And then like at one point I tried writing down orders,
Yeah.
but then people would be like, oh, like first day on the job kind of thing. Like they sort of like are a little bit, they humiliate you a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, geez. And I've sort of worked that into the
Barista,
film as
yeah.
well, like just moments where people are a little bit condescending or
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's just a slice of life film, sort of like showing that process. And I
Yeah.
used like, it's my first time kind of using voiceover in a film because I wanted to
nice.
show what the character goes through when she's trying to remember things versus when people were speaking to her and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was what it was like for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring that experience to the screen.
All for free as well, eh?
What?
Your film.
Yeah, so I did it on a shoestring budget. So I got the location for free. The actors did it, or the friends of mine that did it out of the kindness of their heart. Bless
Lockie.
them. Lockie did it for free, yeah. I did. There were a couple little expenses. Like I had to pay for the Uber for the gaffer to get to location one day because he didn't have his car. That's fine.
You pay the gaffer?
I did on the second day for him to come back. He did such a good job though.
Dude, it
And
looks
the sound
insane.
as well. Yeah. And everyone did a great job.
Yeah.
Super happy with it.
Good on you, mate.
And yeah, so
that just shows you don't need a fucking.
That's the
massive
thing, and this is
budget.
what we'll talk about more with indie later. But you you don't need a big budget to make something really good that looks
Yeah.
good, you know.
For sure.
And I think it also is about knowing the right people that can make something look good on a budget, and it's about being resourceful,
Yeah.
like knowing who you can ask. Well, you do have to put the work in the sense that like we've all worked in this community for years now, right? And we've met people and we've leveled up together, right? So it's like we know certain people now who we've built rapport with that will do favors for us or will work with us for little to no money, and they can make something that looks amazing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think that's something that's so exciting, is leveling up together
Yeah.
and just watching your friends and your colleagues just get better and better at what they do. It's
been one
and
of
just sharing that love and just becoming
Bro,
closer. as a
100%.
unit. It's
Mate,
beautiful. It
we
really-
experience that every day, every night
yeah.
after my set.
Yeah, and you and I spoke about this, how
Debriefs.
like our films are just getting so good.
Creme of the
you
crop,
know?
brother.
Like, yeah.
Of the
Not to
indie-
toot our own horns, but like we are making stuff that is like
Nah,
of a
we'll
very
toot
good
our own
quality
horns
now.
for a sec. We are setting the bar.
Yeah.
Like seeing how far we've come from uni, and there's not a lot of people still doing it.
Yeah, and it's the other beautiful thing is when younger people or less experienced people come onto our sets and you see them become inspired and
Yeah.
ask you questions about how you got there. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I was in your shoes not that long ago. Like you and I are not so different. Like you
Yeah.
can do it too, and you just tell them what
Yeah.
you did. You know,
That's why I
It's-
love to have people that, at least, a couple positions in my crew with people that just haven't got that opportunity yet. Like
yeah, you got to
Sam.
give back. You got to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Sam, or like just having somebody that really wants to just be there and experience
Yeah.
it. God, man, that it's just invaluable, and especially with the quality of stuff that we're putting out. Like,
Yeah.
I think they really appreciate it. But
100%. Yeah.
I'm excited to see the barista film, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So we shot that over 2 separate Sundays.
Yeah,
Just because we had so much going on with your film and Indy's film. It was like 2 weeks apart, basically.
you're insane, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your schedule has been cool. Have you got sick on mine? Did that ever eventuate into anything?
Well, now I've got a bit of a cough. Like it's settled, and then now I've got more of a cough.
It always ends with
It's
a
weird.
cough.
Yeah.
Oh,
It ends with a cough.
It ends with
Yeah. But
right.
no, everything went really well. And I messaged Kate, who was the protagonist in the film.
Yeah.
I messaged her after and I was like, hey, how do you think I went as a director? Like, just give me feedback and stuff. And she was actually the one that was like, I think it would benefit you to take acting lessons, which I already knew, but it was like more of a reaffirmation of that.
Is she an actor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Her and Bailey they did a course at NIDA together.
Oh yeah.
So, and they were both on the set. So they were like chatting and catching up.
I watched Bailey's, what's it called? His fucking...
His tapes.
His tapes.
He always that's what I love about Bailey. He's just always making stuff.
He's grinding.
Like us. He just puts stuff out there. Doesn't
That's
care
the
if it's
way.
good or bad.
No.
And I spoke to him like, I'll give you feedback on some of them so you know what's working, what's not working kind of thing. I recorded a couple with him too.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's great.
Have you given him feedback?
Yeah, like, well, he sent me a couple and said, what do you think of this? And I'd said, this moment works, this doesn't, blah, blah, blah.
How do you find it? This is just a little. Does he listen?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
How do you see him as an actor? This is, I don't know if this
I
is
love
a chat
Bailey.
on
And
the podcast. but
yeah, no.
just because I haven't
dude,
worked
well,
with him a lot, I just see his tapes and stuff like.
Yeah, no, I think because I've known Bailey for a long time. I've
Yeah.
known him since I was 19.
Yeah.
So about 5 years now.
Yeah.
Back in the days of film school. But
Yeah.
I have seen a huge improvement
That's
in
great.
him as an actor.
Yeah.
And he's just somebody that like gives it his all. Like,
I
do you
can
remember
tell.
when
I
when
really
we did
can tell.
Austin's film?
Yeah.
And he was like throwing himself on the ground and stuff. He
1000%.
like
Yeah.
he goes all the way with it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I admire so much about him. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before he really breaks through. And I think on the Barista film, I found that like he was so the role that I wrote for him was so he played it so effortlessly and perfectly. And he was a bit like, oh, I think because I didn't give him too many changes or directions, he was like, is my performance good? I was like, dude, you nailed it. Like, that's the reason I'm not giving you too much direction, because
Yeah.
you're doing everything I want.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, and this is for a lot of actors, it's really just a matter of like writing a role for them that suits them and like
so
shaping the role around them,
you
which
had
I've
him
always
in
done with my
mind.
films.
Did you have him in mind when you
Not
wrote it?
initially when I wrote it, but
Yeah.
then I was speaking to him because, well, once he offered, because he knew the owner of the cafe. That's how
Oh,
I got
right.
it.
Yeah,
for free.
cool.
Yeah. And then once he was like, oh yeah, I'll help you out. Like, we'll go location scout and stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to help him out. And I was like, oh, actually, this role that I had in the film, I was picturing someone a bit older, but I was like, actually, he could play that role.
Yeah, nice.
And then I sort of started to, sometimes you've got to shift your mindset a little bit and like picture somebody a bit differently.
Mhm.
So I did that. And then sort of did we do a rehearsal? I don't think we had time. I didn't rehearse with Bailey. We didn't get time. But we rocked up on the set and we did it. And it was interesting as well because there's like a back and forth dialogue between Bailey and Kate.
Yeah.
But there's also voiceover in the middle of it.
Yeah, cool.
So it took a few takes for them to get the rhythm of it, because
Yeah.
they'd be going back and forth and then I would be interjecting with voiceover.
That's great.
So and it's like to find the rhythm of that took a bit of time, but once we got it, it turned out really well. And I
Yeah.
think in the edit it'll all come together nicely.
Nice, man. Good stuff. I'll tell you what I can just imagine Bailey as, and maybe this is just typecasting, but like just as like your typical high school jock. I don't know if
Yeah.
you get that vibe, just
Yeah.
from the self-tapes I've seen.
Well, there's a project that I'm working on next year with him where he's cast as like a surfy dude.
Oh my
So
God.
I feel like he'd be
You
so
nail
perfect
that.
for yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add on to the end of that? When should people expect
did
it?
Did I finish the point I was making about doing acting classes?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't finish what Kate was saying. She was
Oh,
saying
yeah,
that
sorry.
like she said it seems like I have really good vision in terms of knowing what I want in terms of technical, like blocking, camera, all that framing, all that kind of stuff. But it almost like well, she didn't say specifically criticism. It's just like from her point of view as an actor, I guess there could have been certain things I could have given her to play around with a bit more, like more objectives. I think different objectives and things like that.
Yeah.
I did say to her though, like,
It's a barista film though. Like you're
I said
not
to her,
gonna
first
get
off-
massively into it.
yeah, I said to her, it is quite a simple concept.
Yeah.
And she has been a barista, so she understood it completely.
Yeah, for sure.
And I loved what she was doing straight out the gate, so I didn't need to give her too much direction.
I've got that kind of feedback before as well.
Yeah.
From I think it was Jared and Emily that were
Yeah.
here. It's like, I mean, that was me back Osmar days.
Yeah.
But like, when people's like they're playing it exactly how you want it,
Yeah.
you're not going to give them.
You're not going to
direction.
change it.
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
That is true. That is true.
Unless like you specifically want variation.
Yeah. But I
But,
think
like,
that the thing to also understand is that like actors are very much in their own head,
yeah,
and they're always going to be second guessing themselves. So you have to assure them that they are doing a good job.
Yeah,
and which I
yeah,
did.
yeah.
But then she was like, I don't know if you were saying that to be nice, and it's like, well, I don't know what else I can do. I guess you got to really be like, you're doing good. You're doing great, sweet.
job.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think
so
we're
that's
always improving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
So that's
go.
pretty much it for Brista.
Yeah. Yes, the horologist.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know where we start. I think I'll leave some of the main stories for when Taha comes on. But it was I've said this honestly, like best week of my life, hands down.
Hell yeah.
Like I can't.
You seemed, I think, did you have people coming up to you a lot and going, are you okay? Are you okay? Because that happened to me on
No.
Baron and I was like, I'm chill.
Not
But
really, no.
Because you just seemed happy the whole time. But
I
I
was.
asked you a few times,
dude.
I'm like, is there anything you're like worried about? You're like, no, I'm happy.
Dude,
Oh.
they're insane. I've
Yeah.
never had a set experience like that.
It feels weird though, doesn't it? Because you're like waiting for the pin to
I
drop.
just think it was because I just had everybody that I fucking love there.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody. So
Oh.
if you're listening, but like everybody, just like yourself, like Taha, who have built this insane relationship with, and the actors are just, I'm not walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
thinking that the actors are gonna lose it at some point.
Yeah.
And just crew members, just everybody was lovely. I've worked with everybody
Yes,
now
it
so
was a
many
great
times.
environment. Yeah.
And like a big thing for me as well is just hearing the feedback from the heads of departments. And like even afterwards, like Connor doesn't say much, right? And he's so cool, calm, and collected, and you don't
Yeah.
get a lot out of him. But like just hearing how proud he was of this film and
That's nice.
him saying like it's his best work.
Oh, there was
And,
some
like,
beautiful shots in there. Really,
yeah,
really
and him
beautiful
like
work.
texting me saying like he has a really good feeling about this, and to get that
Oh,
out of
yeah.
somebody like Connor,
Yeah.
like who I really idolize and look up to,
Oh, yeah.
is like just
Connor's fantastic.
it means a lot to me. And like Mariah just killing it, and just
I have to put in a word for your heads of department. Mariah,
Dude,
the
yeah.
production design was phenomenal.
Dude,
we need to
just-
get her on here soon. By the
we
way.
do.
She
I
was
told
telling
her,
me that she'd be
yeah.
keen, so.
That's good because
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure when I asked her. But I think what really stood out to me about this film, and I think everybody can kind of agree, which is like not everybody, but like what Connor was saying, and is that I think my vision and what I had prior, sometimes it just seems so out of whack. Just like, oh my god, these are crazy ideas. But like, I really did stick to my thing about having the production design, the costume design, the lighting, all different per scene, all representing different things. And I think everything worked together in nice harmony and
Yeah.
perfectly, and really like some of the stills. Have I showed you some of the stills that Lockie sent?
Oh, not stills
Like
from
actual
the film.
stills from
Yeah,
the
no.
film? Oh, dude, just seeing how well they work together, really, I'm proud of myself for really sticking to that. And
Yeah.
like there were times I remember on set where like with the colors changing and stuff like that, I also had like how the camera behaves each scene changes. And I remember we were trying to get the one takes down pat, and Connor, and like, oh God, we were like almost there, but we couldn't get it. And Connor's coming up to me and he's like, Josh, I need to talk to you about this one take. I don't think we're gonna get it. Like, he's like, is there any other coverage that you think? I'm like, dude, just do it one more time,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't work out, we can think of something.
Yeah, and
Knowing
you got
full well he was gonna smash it, and he got it the next time.
Nice.
Just like stuff like that, and I don't even. Yeah, it was just crazy. I was so happy every day, excited. Like I couldn't sleep because I was excited,
That's
not
great, yeah.
because I was nervous, which
Yeah,
is
because
what
you're
happened
bloody
on
watching
Ozma.
TikToks.
Bro, yeah, watching food TikToks as
But I was
I do,
trying to
as you were
sleep, just-
going to bed. Bro, you were snoring your
Sorry.
bro. You go from
you said you liked the
snoring.
noise.
Yeah, I do. You would go from snoring to mouth breathing, from snoring to mouth breathing. And it was great because I love a little bit of noise as I go to sleep. I can't sleep and just fucking silence, right? And the
Yeah.
aircon was too cold when we had it on the
It
first
was a bit,
night.
yeah.
So when you were snoring, gave me a bit of sleep tunes,
Bit of
guys. It
something,
was
yeah.
it was nice, but just so extremely happy just
Yeah.
with everything.
Actually, there was something else I wanted to bring up about going back to heads of departments.
Yeah.
With Phoebe, who was the first
Yeah,
AD,
yeah,
such
yeah,
a
yeah.
lovely,
Oh, yeah.
amazing person.
yeah.
And it made me think, because I do some AD work as well, right? And I'm sort of. I mean, I used to think that like a good AD is a pushy AD, you know, because I kind of.
So did I. I know
kind
where you're
of-
going with this.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
like an AD who's sort of on my ass, and then I can sort of push them back if I need to. Like I can be like, Like they keep me hurrying along, and then
Yeah.
I can be like, look, no, we really need this shot. And then if the AD like understands me, they'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you that time you need for that,
Yeah.
because I don't want to fall behind, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, and I also had a conversation with my second AD on Indies film about
Yeah.
this, because I was everything was going really calmly.
Yeah.
on
I
Indies
love
film,
that
so
you
I
bring
was,
this up.
Yeah, I was way more relaxed.
Yeah.
On Indies film.
Yep.
And everything went so smooth.
Mhm.
And then my second AD had the thoughts that I had prior, and he said to me, he's like, oh, like if I was doing it, I probably would have been a little bit more pushy, kind of thing. And I said to him, but we got everything done on time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like we achieved the goal, so why be pushy and make everyone stressed and uncomfortable and anxious if I've got everything planned out and we finish on time?
So,
you know what I mean?
Dude,
And
you're so right.
with Phoebe, I realized that too. Like she made the atmosphere so lovely, and
my
everyone
God.
was so happy that
It's
like,
what yeah.
and like the thing is, we had a lot of shots.
Oh
We were
my
always
God.
gonna go overtime,
Of
right?
course.
And she could have like stressed everyone out that whole
Yeah.
shoot and made it worse, but she built such a lovely vibe and atmosphere
Yeah.
that us going overtime, everyone was kind of okay with it.
I'm so fucking glad you brought that up,
Yeah.
because I had those exact same thoughts,
Yeah.
and like I had my preconceptions of ADs and stuff like that. But I feel like with someone like me who already kind of has that AD brain,
Yeah.
I can kind of, if I need to hurry someone up, I
Yeah.
can, because I'm always
Yeah.
thinking about my.
And it helps
brain's
that you are
ticking.
aware of that too.
My
yeah.
brain's ticking like an AD. So, but the thing with Phoebe, and it took me a while to kind of digest this, like
Yeah.
even just digesting it after the film wrapped, like we couldn't have got everything we did done without her. And the fact that she set such a beautiful, loving environment, there was not one person I heard complain about like just set things, right? And just everybody was happy to be there, and everybody really wanted the best out of the film. Everybody really cared about the film, and if Phoebe was different, if she was pushy, it would piss people off, and
Exactly.
people might not would have wanted to work those extra hours.
Exactly.
Everybody was happy to be there, smiling, laughing, eating in the pitch fucking black at the
Yeah.
end, which we had a whole team of lighting crew. I still don't understand why they
Yeah.
could just swing a light on the fucking kitchen table. But she was fantastic, and it really changed my perception of an AD.
Yeah.
And Mariah was telling me things that she was doing that I didn't see as well off
Yeah.
set. And like
Yeah.
things that I thought were just happening so cruisily and easily, but
She
it was
was sorting
because
out.
she was sorting it out off
Nice.
set that I didn't even notice.
That's
So I thought she did
And that's
fantastic.
what an AD should do, right? Like they should
Absolutely. Take the
they-
stress off.
Yeah, solve
That's it.
problems and not make it the director's
Yeah.
problem, so the director can focus on their job.
And you know what?
yeah.
On the last day, it was really tight. She was like, "I'm gonna be up your ass," and that's when she
Yeah.
was, and
That's
it
good.
was still fantastic. I think she's incredible, and the call sheets, probably my favorite call
Oh,
sheets
that was
of all
so good.
time.
Studio
and
binder? I
and she
wanna-
sent
I
it
need
a
to start
text
using that.
message as
Yeah.
well. Before each day, kind of personalizes it. I think I'm gonna try use that for your one coming up.
yeah,
but
I don't know if
just-
we'll need it. It's low key.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no,
Definitely for
I know.
future shoots.
But just like I'm
Yeah.
just thinking for future shoots and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But she was fantastic, and like just like I said, all the crew, and I said it at the wrap, said it at the start. It was to pull what we did off. We needed the best of the best, and I truly believe we got the best of the best in each kind of head of department. And
Yep.
me, Mariah, and Connor have this kind of partnership now.
Yeah,
going
it's
forward.
nice.
It's just like we've developed, and we all know what each other know and want and love.
Yeah.
And, it's just it's fantastic. And now Taha, who's joined this little partnership as well, is just he oh man, I learned so much from him. Acting, just the producing side of things. He's never produced, but he just is naturally amazing. Just like the strategic things, and also covering all our asses, all these contracts and shit that he
Yeah.
did and sorted everything, and just going forward, just thinking about, he made me think about film in a whole different light to
Yeah.
what I haven't before.
which is what?
Like, especially with post-production, with like thinking about how we're going to maximize our partnership opportunities and,
Yeah.
and press and stuff we're going to do like that. We got Travel Wollombi, the guy, like one of the travel, I don't know, one of the council members involved, and he knew about this. We actually had a meeting with him like the week before and talking about possible things that we're going to do later on and stuff like that. And also like this poster thing, like thinking how he's setting up like a post schedule about how we're going to post the our fucking behind the scenes photos and
Yep.
the poster and stuff like that. And then we're going to create film festival strategies, like fully going into it, because we all truly believe we do have something special here. And it was, bro, we had over 7 hours of footage. 7 fucking hours, which is to say, I mean, we had a lot of one takes and stuff like that, but just, the best
a
week of my
lot,
life.
Jesus.
Everything worked out incredible. I was so happy each day, going to bed excited to wake up the next morning. Good vibes from the start. Learning so much about directing. I think I'm a way better director now. I managed to really, truly like practice.
I also have to commend, like how skillfully you directed. I like the blocking on this film was
Thanks,
amazing.
man.
That was something I was like, wow, I love the blocking.
Yeah,
Certain
yeah,
shots,
yeah,
you
yeah.
had that mirror shot that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Even just those first few shots where they were around the table and you'd see like through a doorway or
Yeah,
something, and the way
yeah,
they move in
yeah.
the frame. It's just that's wonderful.
Thanks,
That's
man. That
filmmaking,
makes
man.
me
And like,
feel happy.
yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I can see that improvement, not just in a way where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we buy a more expensive camera this time.
Oh,
It's like, no,
man.
it's like filmmaking is more than that, and you really elevated it to the next level. And
Thanks,
having
dude.
Taha there, you got the best performances, and like
Crazy,
it's gonna be something special. I have no doubts
It
about it.
really is. And dude, this is why I really wanted to make something very more enclosed. You know, compared to Osmar, one location, I can really tell this amazing story
Yeah.
and focus on the staging. I can
Yeah.
really go deep into how the camera is behaving each
Yeah.
scene. I can go deep into the actors and really, I mean, me and Taha had something really good going. In terms of acting, and he would come in when I was confused or stuck, and he really helped me with Piper. We've already talked about her on here, but he really helped me with the kid in the film and stuff, and just really learning. And by the last couple of days, seeing how he worked on the first two, like doing the exercises that he ran through with Karina and Nick, like I was taking over and putting those things into play in the last couple of days, and we're just working side by side. And it truly, I really do feel kind of queasy saying like putting it in the film, like a film by Josh Urquhart, because it's no longer a film by me. It's a film
It's
by
always a
everybody.
group collaboration.
Group
man.
collaboration, and I'm really proud of everybody. Just trying to think of let's touch on the performances for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like holy shit, like it is a huge ask, especially for Nick coming on late and like
He smashed it.
like it's a
He's a great guy as well.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
It's a hard film to do.
Oh yeah.
Big commitment emotionally, not only physically, but like emotionally. And they really gave it their all each take.
Yeah.
Like, and the shit that we put them through, the actors, some of the best actors I've ever met, especially
easily.
in this stunt. People say you can't get good shit from stunt now. Shut up,
No.
mate. I mean, 90% of it is trash, but like that
There are some
10%,
gems in
that
there,
10%, you find those gems, and I feel like I've really bonded. I feel like they really bonded as well. Better than anything I could have ever hoped for. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
It was so
I've
sweet how
missed.
like Nick would come and pick up Karina from the motel each day.
Yeah.
And, like they spent a lot of time together.
They
and I
did.
feel
They
like
went and got
you also
coffees
scheduled it
and-
in a way where you had the more intimate scenes
Yeah.
kind of like later on. And then
Yeah.
or like the scenes where they needed to be more in touch
Yeah,
emotionally later. And it built up into that
Bro,
like, as they got to know each other.
yeah.
better.
So, for example, you're 100% right. Yeah, they really committed to it, gave their all, and yeah.
Well, I really felt that that exterior scene that we did, if you know what I'm talking about.
the exterior scene.
Yeah, outside.
Oh, the
in
one
that
with
certain location in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah, I felt like that. Like that was the perfect time for that to have happened. Was it day 4?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I felt like that just felt perfect to me. You know.
dude. And okay, another real, I think, highlight of this set,
Yeah.
and probably not something you would expect. When we're filming that scene, I think is probably one of my favorites. The scene with all the candles, and there was one. There was
I was
one
scared
point,
the house was gonna catch on
There
fire.
was one point where everybody was involved. Sam was on the curtains. I was behind the thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody was involved, and it was. Oh, maybe this was a different scene. That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Literally, the whole crew got involved doing jobs that they weren't.
I was
doing
getting
to make
KFC.
This. Yeah, bro. Even you, bro. We couldn't have done it without you as well.
Oh,
That
no
was
worries.
insane. But one of my favorite parts is we're filming the very final shot to the film, and I don't know if you're inside at this point, but it's a really like brings everything together, and it was the final frame of this film is something which I really thought about, and planned from one of the very first things that like I kind of had in this film, kind of where I'm going towards, and we're filming it, and it's such a lot of it's all silent, but a lot is spoken in that kind of one action that we get. Hayden was behind the desk because we had to turn a light back on out of frame, and he was controlling the lights, but like I could see him kind of like, I don't know, he just looked a bit off during the scene, and then when we cut, he started tearing up.
Oh, really?
And he's like, God, this is, and he said out loud to everyone, God, this is really sad.
Really?
And seeing that emotion
Yeah.
from, you know, our
That's beautiful,
gaffer,
yeah.
like just connecting, being on
Yeah.
this journey and connecting
That's
in that
beautiful, man,
moment
yeah.
really made me feel happy.
Yeah.
But
That's how you know, like you're
Yeah.
doing it right. Yeah.
it's crazy though, because there were points where these, you know, the actors are fucking like bawling their eyes out,
Yeah.
and Connor's there. I'm just like, how does he not react to anything? He's so professional, and it's like such like these really
Stoic.
intense. And like we're talking about the performances. Don't know if there's a bit of light on his face. That, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how do they
he's
keep
not, He's
just,
not looking for what everyone else is looking
Exactly.
for. Because he's so zoned into
Bro,
his task.
he is so
Yeah.
talented, that man.
Yeah.
I really, you know, I doubt he would come in this pod, but fuck, it would be good to pick his
Yeah.
brain.
I will say this is a separate thing.
Yeah.
For me, as someone who had a lower role, I must say I did enjoy Ozma a little bit more, just because of
You
the
told me that. Yeah,
because
for
of the
sure.
scale of it and just
Yeah,
how
yeah,
all the
yeah.
crazy costumes and how much was going on and
Yeah.
stuff. This was more intimate and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm sure like this will be an amazing film. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be the best thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed Ozma, like the scope
Yeah.
of it, and having all the boys
Bro,
on there. It was
1000%.
super
And
fun.
that's
but
why, bro.
not that I didn't enjoy
it's-
this. But
No,
yeah,
I 100% get where you're coming
Yeah.
from. And like, I love all the boys. I really do.
Mm.
But it just, and I knew this going like in uni,
yeah,
because I wanted to get as much experience as possible. So I would specialize in a secondary role, like
Yeah.
ADing.
Yeah.
But they never did.
yeah.
So it's like,
No, and like everyone knows what it is.
You
They
know what I
understand
mean?
it. We understand it. It's
and you're the most involved in my kind of filmmaking life out of all
Yeah.
of them. So of course I would bring you on,
yeah.
you know, as
No, I'm not saying that you
Yeah, yeah.
should have added. I'm just
No,
saying
yeah.
because. And Ozma was the kind of film that needed a bigger crew and it needed more people. But this something more intimate. You want to keep it as small as possible.
100%.
You know, it's got to suit the story. It's like for my film I'm doing next week. I'm keeping
Yeah.
the crew a lot smaller than Baron.
Bro, that's all you need. And like, we only had short, and I know I saw your crew photos. You only need a small crew as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need, cuz
Yeah.
like you don't need. I'm like these big Hollywood blockbusters. They have thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like cars. That's surely got to be overkill.
Yeah. I mean, you look at something like Oppenheimer and there was 10 crew members.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, overall, ecstatic, happy, excited. So now, I want to ask you a question, right?
Yes.
So you had a lot of kind of thoughts about the length of it all,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, we don't know the length.
Yeah.
My aim is to get it below 30 minutes. What do you think? I don't know how to really put this question. Now that you've seen it all play out,
Mm.
do you think it's the correct length for the story that is being told?
I didn't see a lot of it, man.
Oh,
I wasn't
fuck you,
there.
you
I
didn't
saw bits
either,
and
eh?
pieces, but I didn't see the whole
Yeah.
thing. Just from reading the script and like what I know the story is, I feel like it does need that length. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like again, just see how it plays in the edit.
Yeah,
Because
like-
you really don't know until you see it in the edit.
100%, man. Yeah, I'm
I
excited.
mean, like Baron was so much longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, true.
Like, I thought it was 6-page script. It was like 11-minute film. So
yeah, it's a horror film. Different. Like, you have
It's
to build the tension and stuff.
I think yours will be pretty close to the page.
I think
count.
so as well. The aim is to get it 30 and below, but we'll see.
So there you go.
I
But then there was also what you were saying about like if it goes over the 40-minute, it would be considered a feature.
Yeah,
but I
but
feel
I'm
like
like-
that's probably something you should stray away from.
Yeah,
Because
I
I feel like
think
it's going to
so.
get worse in quality if you try and stretch it.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, nobody takes a 40-minute feature.
Exactly.
seriously.
Yeah. So
I think as well, the last thing I want to touch on is like, I can't wait for this next stage with Federico. The music is always my
God, I didn't
favorite
even think
part.
about that. That's gonna
The
be-
music is always my favorite part, and Federico and I played. So I sent him some of the stills,
Yeah.
and he sent me back a voice message, and I played it for the crew on the last day. It was him getting emotional. He was like,
beautiful.
"This is like the." He was saying like, "This is." I can't even remember what he said. But he was getting emotional based off those stills.
Can I give one thought though that I'm thinking about
Yeah.
in terms of music? 'Cause
Yeah, go for it, man.
I know you and Federico both absolutely love your big orchestra pieces kind of thing.
Yeah, we're not going.
Yeah,
because
because it's a more intimate film.
I already
think.
told him.
I'm sure you
literally
know that.
In
But
the
yeah.
very first meeting, I said, "Bro, you know what we've done before.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, okay.
Very minimalistic."
Okay,
I said,
cool,
"Why not?"
yeah.
Like, I literally, when we were talking about it, I've already kind of delegated only very minimal instruments for per
yes.
scene and stuff.
Can't wait then. It's gonna be beautiful.
Piano, just like the single piano notes is a big one that we're gonna.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be crying for sure.
Oh, bro, I hope so. I don't, if
Yeah.
bro, if there is a dry eye in my cinema, I've not done it correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. I'll talk about more when Taha gets on,
Yeah,
like
easy.
the process of it. But
Yeah.
every aspect, super happy. The location, crazy, amazing. Just the little days that we had, like just even like little crews like me, Kelvin, Connor, and Taha had some fucking funny times just in the car. The shitty rig that we strapped to the car, and yeah, all around great effort by everybody. Everybody was super happy, and now I'm just excited.
Oh yeah.
That's
what
that,
we
baby.
like.
Alrighty. We thought for the final segment of the podcast this week, we will touch on directing. We've all had specific experiences recently, especially Indy as well, who we haven't touched on your film, which will be very exciting to do so. Let's delve deep into the world of directing. I
Let's
guess,
do
like kind of like where we were before these films compared to, I guess, what we've learned and the type of director we are now.
Yeah. Well, Indy, I kind of wanted to start by asking you a question because it's been a couple years since you've been in the director's seat.
Properly, because I directed a music video last year, which you were on.
Yeah, but that was not the same.
It wasn't
yeah.
really proper directing, but
Yeah.
before that, it would have been my grad project.
Yeah. And I must say, I was very proud of how you did as a director.
Thank you.
And it was very nice working by your side because I was assistant directing on this
Yeah.
film. But like, how did you find that experience of getting back in the director's seat? Like, do you feel like you did a good job directing, or do you feel like there are things you could have done better? What was your kind of overall?
Well, it came with a lot of anxiety. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't speak to you about that because I felt like I didn't know anything. And just the idea of having to work with people I haven't worked before with, like the cast and stuff, and also my producer. And the idea of having to, like, be the leader of a set around people who both you've worked with and haven't worked with, and it just feels like all eyes are on you.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
for that process, it was very anxiety inducing until I got there.
Yeah.
And it just kind of came very
That's what I kept
naturally.
saying to you though,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Because I think the build up was when you were getting anxious. And I said, you've done all the work, you've done all the prep. Once you get there on the day. And I said this to you when you were getting anxious as well, Josh. You guys have done all the prep, you know? And you just got to get there on the day, trust that everything is in place. And then any issues that come up, you'll figure it out. Because production is like, this is why I love production more than pre and post. Because it's so...
Bro, literally.
If there's a problem, you got to fix it straight away. It's not like pre-production where you spend 6 months toiling
Bro,
over
and you know
things
the
like-
things I was stressing about before mine was just simple shit like
Yeah.
catering before.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the first day, how are we going to where are we storing the food?
Yeah.
That's what I was, it's
But
so stupid.
You need
but,
to
like,
stress about that stuff in pre so that on the day...
Yeah.
The shooting... John Luke always says this. Shooting day is for shooting. You know what I mean? You're not trying to figure things out. Oh, how should we light this on the day? No.
Yeah.
You do your mud maps and stuff beforehand so that on the day you can set your lights up and shoot it.
Exactly.
And I think that's, when you go in student films and you're 4 hours behind schedule, that's why. Because
Yeah.
they're like, what are we doing again?
Bro.
Bruh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So we were talking about Damn, right?
Yeah. Damn is Indy Woodward's new film.
There you go. Go on, continue with your question.
What else?
Oh, can I just say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you and I had so many similar experiences.
Yes.
Do we?
Like, just both of our DPs were like in Europe for like a month.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of shared crew.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
like
we've got
Max.
Max, Dan, Hayden.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
true.
I think that's the main three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
God, just
there
copying
were,
each
there
other.
were literally there
And
were
you
a few
guys
other
also both
similarities.
shot like in locations that were
Crazy.
far
Yeah.
from Sydney.
But you know
which was
what?
fun. No, I
think
enjoyed
that-
it though.
I mean, it kind of more benefited me because, I mean, some of my crew had experience, like, was, where sometimes it takes a lot to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they had yours to kind of like get the ball rolling, and they come to mine and they're like ready. But I've no doubt, man, from what I've seen, they've smashed it on your film as well. Did it exceed your expectations?
Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many like little things that just came together, and also just the feeling, like, for example, my cast, like my lead Eleanor, like people kept mistaking them as me.
Well, because they were
Like-
also wearing your clothes.
Yeah,
And
but
I'd go up to Eleanor and set and be like, so what, are we doing this shot? And I'd be like, oh, it's not Indy.
Bro.
But like, that is just such good casting.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, of course.
fantastic.
I mean, if you're gonna write the character as you,
They even look
cast
like you,
yourself.
mate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a photo of them together where it's like a spitting image.
Dude, insane.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
That was good, yeah. And they were such lovely people. That was
Oh.
another set, like such a good vibe.
Yeah.
Everyone was just there having a good time, and it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, everything was timed so well. Like, we didn't go overtime or anything.
Yeah.
Because I was AD. So.
Wow.
No,
You're so
no, it was
good.
because it was just a quite a simple film. to
Yeah.
make. It was a lot of dialogue
Yeah.
but everything looked beautiful still. I was
Oh.
very impressed with how it looked.
Yeah.
And the
Hayden did
performances.
so fucking well.
Yeah, he did.
What challenged you most as a director?
I just think it was the approach to figuring out the best way to get the actors into their mindsets.
Yeah.
And which is something I spoke to them individually, because we did like 2 group rehearsals, and then I did an individual rehearsal with each of them, and like at the end of it I'm like, what's your method to getting into the mindset of the character? What's your method to, like, what's the best way I can direct you? And they each gave different bits of input and stuff, which I found was really beneficial, but like that was definitely a hurdle that I'd come across.
Yeah, it always is.
I think another thing with like the biggest thing about being a director is learning what words to use and how to actually express and communicate what you want the actors to do and in the way that you want them to do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something we've probably all built up over time, and you're getting better and better at.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different as well. All actors have different methods as well. And it's just about, I think step one is understanding the actors as a person before they're the character.
Which you don't always get the luxury to do sometimes.
No,
Yeah.
it's like that's why rehearsals are so good, and like just having time beforehand, getting to know them, how they work, kind of seeing how they relate to the character, what are the crossovers, what are the differences, and then finding how you're going to bridge that gap. And I think there's not one right way to get them into the mindset, but the more options that you learn and the more experience you get, it gets easier over time, I think. And I know especially for me as well, I now have different techniques on how to get them into the mindset and stuff like that. But I think a big part of that is rehearsals. And that's why it's so good. Did you have much rehearsals with the actors at all? Or?
Well, we actually only cast like 2 weeks before filming.
Damn.
But we
Damn. You left it all pretty late. Yeah.
But we managed to get like 4 rehearsals in that week.
Yeah.
And, like just spread it out, which
It's
is
so good, man, rehearsals.
Full
like-
rehearsal, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
But what
insane,
do you
yeah.
what do you go over if you're
well,
doing that?
that
many
was the
rehearsals?
thing, because we did again 2 group rehearsals, then 2 individual ones, and then in the individual ones I also took that time to like get to know them as people.
I feel like that's what
And
you have to
yeah,
do,
and
hey,
just
and
kinda
just like
connect
it's like just chatting
Yeah.
Yeah.
about their life, like what kind of person are you, like what do you see in this character? I
Yeah.
feel like that's what a lot of rehearsals are.
Actually, I think another hurdle that I came across as a director is being back in that seat and not having something to constantly do.
I found that on Baron as well.
Yeah.
It's strange, like when you hire people who are actually really good at their jobs and you're only wearing one hat instead of 500 like you're used to doing
Yeah.
in the community. You're kind of, and you have a little bit of time to walk around and you're like, oh, and you're like, should I pick up that lens? And like, and you're like, no, that's not my job. And you've got to become okay with not doing everything at once. And that's all
1000%.
right. That's
Yeah,
okay.
because obviously I work with Hayden a lot, and I
Yeah.
like spoke to you, and I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. Like
Yeah.
people are like moving lights, changing
And
lenses,
you're
and
just
I'm
like
like,
sitting there. Yeah.
what do I do? Like
Yeah.
I've got downtime, which never happens on a set. And
Yeah.
like my actors know what they're doing already, so it's just kind
Yeah.
of just taking a moment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's such a weird feeling, hey? And
It's
then you're like,
so-
should I talk to the actors more? But it's like, I don't know if you start to become detrimental if you just keep
Yeah.
saying things. Like, I don't think it helps after a certain point.
What's something that you learnt on this set that you would take into the next one?
Take your time with things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what regard?
Like this is something I also had to process when doing all my shoots. in film school where I would just rush myself through every shot where I'm like, oh, we've got 3 takes, we need to move on.
Yeah.
And we ended up wrapping early, like in my grad project, and in this one, I had to keep reminding myself we have the time.
Yeah.
And
I was also helping you with that too.
Yeah, exactly. And like initially we had 4 days, but we had to cut it down to 3. But when we had 4 days, we had so much spare time anyway. And then when we cut it down to 3 days, it was still paced out in such a level way where we still had time to play. It was just taking your time with the shots and like picking up on the small details, like, oh, there's not actually extras in the background when we need extras in the background. Let's get 2 more takes and then we can move on.
Fantastic. What do you, I think from your experience, what do you think Indy's best quality as a director?
I can't think of a single one.
Going from what you
quality,
saw on
I
this,
see a lot of myself in you, actually, to be honest. You've got that like clear vision of what you want. You've got that. I saw a lot of confidence come out that I hadn't seen before. That conviction that you have as a director. I was honestly, you did actually take me by surprise a little bit, and I was like, in the best way. Like I was like, wow, look at you go. Like
it was even telling me that on my set, saying how proud.
Like I was honestly like you smashed it, seriously.
Amazing.
And it's like, if you've got that love for film in your heart, I think it'll shine through. You know what I mean?
That's what you need.
It's like what Tarantino says: if you love cinema enough, you can't help but make a good movie. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
What about you? I know you've finished now Baron, and I think maybe you can talk as well from maybe like a post-production standpoint, but also the Barista film and what you got coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe picture yourself before Baron even started. What do you kind of, if you can explain to me in very briefly, like a brief paragraph, the kind of director you are now compared to how you were before all these projects?
Well, this is something I feel like as an individual, I've actually changed a lot over the past year in terms of the way I process things and think about things. I'm a lot kinder on myself than I used to be.
Yeah, I say that.
I've learned to work with my flaws rather than hate myself for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I used to just like get angry at myself when I would do things wrong, and now I'm like, no, like this is who you are. This is what you're not good at. You either work on improving that, or you find somebody else who can help you fill in those strengths, and that's okay. Like,
very good. Not many people have that self-awareness.
And I had a good chat with our good friend Noah Lubotsky, who's an amazing actor, and we were talking about the fact that you are the person that lives your whole life with yourself, right? You're with yourself from the moment you're born to the day you die. You have to back yourself. You have to be in your own corner, because there are going to be moments when you are the only one that's looking out for yourself, right? You know, you have those people that love you, but they can't be there for you every second of the journey. There are moments when it's just going to be you looking out for you, and nobody else can carry your legacy except for yourself. So you have to back yourself. You have to love yourself, because you're the one that suffers with yourself. You're the one that loves what you love. You're the one that lives with everything. So it's up to you.
Damn.
And, so
fucking Master Oogway.
Yeah. clip that.
Yeah, well, mate. So you're saying the main difference from the director you were to now is the way that you treat yourself.
Yeah. So I've sort of, but then the funny thing is that I have this more calm energy, and
dude, you 100% do.
Do you think? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I was gonna say what I notice about. I mean, from how you were to what you are now, and I think this is like, bro, this is the main thing. Is you're starting to develop your voice as a director, and it's clear and distinct as yours. And that's what I can tell. That's different.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when we were doing the podcast, I was so like, I just used to get so anxious and scared and worried about things. And then now I just have this feeling of very much like, if there's an issue, we'll get past it, and I know we'll be okay.
Fantastic.
And I sort of have that approach to life as a whole
now.
But then there are moments where I'm like, maybe sometimes I need a little bit of that stress, because it's like that bit of adrenaline that actually pushes you to make things.
It's filmmaking.
It does, yeah. You'll feel it, yeah. If you procrastinate and don't do something, it'll catch up to you. Like, oh shit, I need to do that. So yeah, I think it's just finding that balance. But I think it's important to always be pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone still. Which with every project I do, I try and do something that I haven't done before, even if it's something tiny, like the Barista film. Just adding a voiceover to the script. I've never done that before in a script, and it's a new thing that I had to learn how to work with actors and how to make that work on set.
For sure.
It's something tiny. You know, with Baron, there were a lot of new things. It was a new genre for me. You know, I was having to figure out how to, you know, do an effective scare, or, you know, there were prosthetics. I hadn't worked with prosthetics or intimacy scenes. So
Same with me.
Yeah.
Intimacy coordinator.
And it's like, it's, you know, it's still a simple film with 2 actors,
Yeah.
but like there was still a lot of new little challenges. And
Yeah.
with each film, I try and do something that I haven't done before.
I need to see this
Yeah.
this Dark Magician kind of film now.
Yeah,
Seeing
well,
what
that's in
you,
the long
seeing what you
future.
did with Baron.
I wanted to bring something else up about the horologist as well.
Yeah.
Like I really, there was a lot of truth that you guys brought out in that. Like I saw it through the performances. I saw, and it was Taha was talking about how these are real people that have lived lives like this and stuff. And I really saw that truth in the characters and the story. And I started to see the story blend with reality, if that makes sense. As we were there on set, I started to see like them as real people living real lives, doing real things.
Yeah.
And there was something little that sort of blended it in my mind. It was when you were doing that scene where Karina comes in with the shopping, with the groceries, and just seeing her holding the groceries and coming in with it. It was just a simple little thing, but just like, I don't know, it just added life to the scene. It was like, that's something that we all do. We bring groceries home.
Bro,
literally. I don't know, just seeing that little paper bag with the lettuce hanging out, and I don't know, it felt real to me. And it blended something in me that it was like, we're imitating life here, you know, in a way that it becomes life.
That's it, man.
It is life.
That's it. Fucking kudos to Karina as well.
Yeah.
She's just fucking amazing. Give me one question. I gave you both. Give me one and then we'll quickly wrap it up.
Sorry.
That's all right.
What was your biggest challenge on the horologist? Because you seem to be having a good time, but like, I actually want to know what.
I was loving life, cuz.
The sound. That was. I know you were stressing about that.
That wasn't a challenge. That was just a situation.
Yeah. Was that the most freaked out you were?
You know what? I'm gonna say that for Taha, because bro, his reaction was the funniest. It was almost fainting.
I can't believe I missed that, but I heard about it after, and I saw poor Kieran. He was like so flustered.
My biggest challenge, I don't know if it was any technical challenge, like technically, because I feel like I prepared like so much for it. I think my biggest challenge is something that maybe you wouldn't expect. It was more so the challenge of just believing that I've set up a really nice environment that everybody is happy to be there.
You seem to be more concerned about the logistics. It's almost like your producer brain was more switched on this
time. That's what I think it was, and making sure everybody was kind of going into that mindset and developing that mindset that everybody's happy to be here. They're here for a reason. They're not going to be unhappy.
But you know what, dude?
Yeah.
On an indie set, that stuff is so important.
Yeah.
Because you never want to burn your bridges.
100%.
When you don't have money, what you have is friendship and connection and values and making something we are happy making and love making.
Although it was my biggest challenge, I also think it was one of my biggest assets.
100%,
making sure that
it paid off, man. Everyone was happy.
Yeah, and making sure everybody was comfortable, happy to be there, and you know, I've always said this, and this is why I get like the actors so involved as well and allow for that collaboration, is I truly believe, especially whether you're a cast or a crew member, if you're having input in this movie, in this story, right, you're going to be more willing to give your best to it because you have a say in everything. So that was my biggest kind of challenge, I guess, but also one of my biggest, I guess, outcomes of everything. But yeah, I learned a lot, and I'll talk about it more when Taha comes on.
We'll do it. We'll do a full in-depth examination when Taha comes.
That would be fantastic. But for now, I think that's all the time we have.
Amazing. Should we tie a little bow in this episode?
Let's do it. If you guys want to catch us, the pre-production meeting on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and the Pre-Prod Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.